All right, let's talk about a company that, started in a garage and now, get this, wants to build cities in space. We're talking about a company you probably interact with every single day, Amazon. But the story of how it became the everything store, well, it's way more surprising and honestly, a lot more ambitious than you might think.
Okay, to really get Amazon, you have to start with this quote, and you're not going to believe where it's from. This is from Jeff Bezos' high school valedictorian speech. I mean, come on. Long before he ever sold a single book, his ultimate goal wasn't just to build the world's biggest store. Nope, it was to get humanity into space, from the very beginning.
So, how does that kid, the one with dreams of space colonies, end up creating the store that has everything? How did that massive grand vision lead to, the cardboard box on your doorstep? That is the story we are going to unpack right now.
And we're going to start not with e-commerce, but with that ultimate ambition. Because you have to understand, for Bezos, everything he's built here on Earth, it's really just a stepping stone. I mean, he's said it over and over again. His space company, Blue Origin, that's his most important work. Yeah, Amazon completely revolutionized commerce, for sure. But in his mind, that's just the engine. It's the thing funding a much, much grander project for the future of humanity. Okay, so with that huge cosmic ambition in mind, let's rewind. Let's go back to the moment it all began here on Earth. Because what's wild is, it wasn't a passion for books that started Amazon. Not at all. It was a single, absolutely mind-blowing statistic.
This right here, this is the number that changed everything. So picture it. It's the early 90s. Bezos is working at a hedge fund on Wall Street, and he stumbles across this data point. The internet was growing at this just astronomical rate. We're not talking 100% a year, not even 500%. We are talking 2,000, 300% annually. He saw that and he just knew. He knew he had to be a part of it.
So okay, you see a number like that. You know you got to get in. But what do you sell? Why books? Well, it was an absolutely brilliant strategic choice. Think about it. There are millions of different book titles, way more than any other product category out there. So that meant he could build a store online that was literally impossible to build in the real world. You just couldn't fit them all in a building. Earth's largest bookstore was the perfect proof of concept.
And man, did he move fast. He sees that number and boom, he quits his super lucrative Wall Street job, packs up the car with his wife Mackenzie, and they just drive across the country to Seattle. His parents were, as you can imagine, terrified. His mom apparently begged him, "Jeff, just do it on the weekends." But nope. Within a year, Amazon.com was live, operating out of a garage.
So, the big question is, how did this tiny little startup in a garage become the global titan we know today? Well, the key is this. From day one, Bezos wasn't just building a bookstore. He was building an empire.
And check this out for a peek into his mindset. The original name he considered for the company was Relentless.com. Yeah. Now, he ultimately chose Amazon, after Earth's largest river to signal massive scale. But that relentless idea, that ethos, it never went away. It basically became the company's unofficial driving philosophy. And that relentless drive was aimed squarely at one thing, you, the customer. Customer obsession became Amazon's North Star, their guiding light. The stories are pretty legendary now, right? Like how he would literally leave an empty chair in meetings to represent the customer, reminding everyone who the most important person in the room really was. See, Bezos knew that a good idea for an online store wasn't nearly enough. As he famously said, ideas are the easy part. Execution is everything. So he obsessively focused on building the infrastructure, the logistics, the whole tech backbone to actually deliver on his promises to customers. And his strategy for growth? It was pretty radical for the time. He basically told investors, hey, just so you know, we're not going to make a profit for years. Because he wasn't playing the short game. He was focused on long-term market share. He also used a pretty nifty sales tax advantage to undercut brick-and-mortar stores. And, this is key, from the very beginning, he collected data on everything customers did on the site. He knew that information was one of his most valuable assets.
So for years, Amazon is growing at a really nice, steady pace. But then, in 2005, they quietly launched a new program. And this program would basically light a rocket under the company and change retail forever.
You know what I'm talking about? Amazon Prime. The deal was simple. Pay an annual fee, and you get free 2-day shipping. Now, this was a massive financial risk for them, but it was an absolute masterstroke. It totally changed what you and I expect from online shopping. And to make it work,
Amazon had to go on a building spree, creating this massive, nationwide network of warehouses and fulfillment centers, and that created hundreds of thousands of jobs in the process.
So, did the big bet pay off? Yeah. Today, there are more than 150 million Prime members. That is the engine that drives the whole Amazon empire. It's the glue that locks customers into its world.
But as Amazon's scale and its incredible speed became the stuff of legend, some really tough questions started to pop up. Questions about the human cost of all that convenience.
Now, the official company line has always been crystal clear. Safety is the #1 priority. You'll hear top executives say it all the time. They are adamant that they do not and will not sacrifice worker well-being for the sake of productivity.
But if you talk to some workers on the warehouse floor, you hear a different story. Many of them describe an environment where the pressure to meet performance targets, what they call making rate, is so intense that they feel like they have to cut corners on safety. And this really gets to the heart of the tension in Amazon's labor practices. Can you actually be the fastest and the safest at the exact same time?
And that, let's call it ruthless efficiency, it wasn't just an internal thing. Early on, the company reportedly used a strategy that some people called the Gazelle Project. The idea was basically to go after smaller, weaker publishers first, kind of like a cheetah singles out a sick gazelle in a herd. By dictating terms to them, Amazon built up leverage and set precedents before it had to go negotiate with the giants of the industry. It was just another example of that relentless mindset in action.
In this quote, this really hits hard. This is from Amazon's very first employee, Shel Kapon, the guy who was there when it was all just an idea in a garage. And now he looks at what it's become with this mix of pride and fear. And that's really the crucial point, right? This deep ambivalence from someone who was there right at the very start.
And you know what? That feeling is now pretty widespread. From the warehouse floors all the way to the halls of Congress, Amazon's incredible success has brought on incredible scrutiny. Its power over how we shop, the mountains of data it collects, its impact on the labor market, it's all under the microscope.
Look, there's no denying it. Amazon gave customers exactly what they wanted: a huge selection, low prices, and just unbelievable speed. But its journey from that little garage to this galaxy-spanning ambition leaves us with a really critical question for our time. In a world that is completely won over by customer obsession, what is the cost? What is the cost to everyone else, to workers, to competitors, and maybe even to the marketplace of ideas itself?